Hello everybody, I'm SketchyBot 3000 and I'm here today to talk to you about the best iPad for drawing on a budget, or the best value iPad for drawing, the one that you'll get the most mileage out of per dollar, right? So let's jump into this. Here's who I am and how I know this stuff, right? So I design jewelry for a living. I draw on a daily basis at work. That's part of my job. I have an industrial design master's degree, so product design, all that kind of good stuff. And I do art as a hobby on the side as SketchyBot 3000. Now, I also had some experiences over the last few months that have educated me on how the iPads work for drawing and what really is important. Also, I've been drawing digitally for over 10 years too, so all that kind of good stuff. I use a Surface Pro at home before buying this, and a sketchbook first gen at work. So let's talk about what I've learned. So I first start off by buying a first generation iPad Pro, right? I'm talking about the best drawing device on a budget. Now, not the cheapest and not the best, but the best for somebody on a budget, right? So the cheapest is the iPad with no name on it, whatever, it's like $330, and that should work fine. There's some limitations there, but it's going to work fine. If the dollar is the most important thing to you, go get it. It's a good iPad. It still uses the Apple Pencil. It's great. If you want the best, get the latest generation iPad Pro. They are the best. But my question is, those differences between this model and the newest, are they worth paying for, right? Because from what I've seen, I saved about $400 going with this model over the newest. And the differences, to me, aren't something that justify another $400. Now, here's my quick journey. Now, I'm not using this for work. I'm still using the Surface Book at work, and this is for me to carry around my backpack and just enjoy drawing when I get a few minutes. So this is my hobby stuff. I do offer this stuff. I'm making artwork that I offer at sketchybot3000.com, so be sure to go check that out. We've got everything from hoodies to stickers, stickers the kids will love, all kinds of good stuff. Check it out. But I'm using this for doing art on the side as a hobby, and for me it's something I can't justify putting a lot of money into because it's a hobby, right? This isn't a professional item, right? So I got it probably about 4 months ago and was using it for about 3 months and was loving it. I jumped into Procreate for the first time. So this is my first time ever owning an iPad. So I was really excited to get this, really excited to try out Procreate. I've been using Sketchbook Pro by Autodesk on the Surface products for years. But I really enjoyed Procreate, really enjoyed the iPad, and what I started running into was I can do my supplier for all my art stuff, the stickers, the t-shirts, the wall prints, all that stuff. They recommend doing 14 by 16 inch artwork at 300 dpi. And if I do that in Procreate on this device, I get 22 layers, which I could use more, but I can work with 22. That gives me plenty of flexibility to do what I need to do. Remember, Procreate's optimized, so you have a limit of how big of a resolution you can use and how many layers you can use with whatever resolution you choose, right? Now, what I ran into was I later found out that that was the size they recommended, but if you wanted to print larger wall art, they recommended uploading a larger artwork. Well, once I started trying to do that, Procreate just said, no, I can't. It's too big. I can't do it at all, period. And I really wanted to get into doing skateboards, which my suppliers now started offering. And I think I could do the skateboard resolution with Procreate, but it's a long, skinny resolution, right? Because it's a skateboard. I'd really rather do it at a normal ratio and then kind of crop it down so I can use it for other stuff too. And when I did that, the height of it pushed it out of the range that Procreate can do. So basically, I'm running out of power because it's a mobile device, right? On the Surface Pro 4 and the Surface Book, it's not a problem. Now, I'm not using Procreate, I'm using Sketchbook Pro on those, but the resolution limit and the layer limits on that running an i5 or an i7 processor are so big that they're virtually impossible to hit. So running on a mobile device, I kind of ran into that issue. So I decided, you know what? Okay, I tried the first generation iPad. Obviously, I need to upgrade to something with more power. So I sold my first one that I had purchased. Then I got the iPad Air here, 10.5 inch, the third generation. So I jumped from an A9 processor, I believe it is, A9X, I believe, to the A12, not the A12X, but the A12 in here. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a huge leap in processing power. This will take care of my problem. I got it in. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I loaded up Procreate, and I couldn't wait to check out how big of a resolution I could get, how many layers I could get, all that stuff. And I tried the 14 by 16 inch at 300 DPI, and I got 9 layers instead of the 22 I was getting here. And I was like, what the? What? It's worse. What happened? So I contacted tech support at Procreate, and here's what they told me. And when they told me, I was like, oh, duh, I knew this. I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I think about this before I bought it? Drawing apps aren't processor intensive. They don't work the processor hard at all. They work the RAM really hard. When you're buying a computing device for drawing, you want to get the most RAM you can get. That makes it so you can use as many layers as possible at a high enough resolution as possible, and it all works and flows really smoothly. It's not about the processor, right? This A12 is not doing anything for me. 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2 gigabytes of RAM. Not helpful. So, I've already put in to return this one. I need to put it in the box and send it back, and I'll do that after this video. But, so I started looking into it further. So, okay. So the new iPad Pros probably have more RAM. Let's check into all of that. So what I found was that iPad Pros, with 2 exceptions, all iPad Pros have 4 gigabytes of RAM. 4. The 2 exceptions would be the first generation 9.7-inch iPad Pro, which had 2 gigs of RAM, so about the same as this guy, and the 2018 third generation iPad Pro. If you get it with 1 terabyte of storage, you can get an extra 2 gigabytes of RAM, which puts you up to 6. So I'm talking to the Procreate tech support team, and I asked them, can you guys also give me a list of what the maximum resolutions are for the different iPads? And she said, oh yeah, go to the frequently asked questions, the FAQ on our website, and search maximum resolution. And I did, and it gave me a great answer. But the weird thing was that it lumped all the iPad Pros except for the 9.7-inch first gen together, and it didn't mention anything about the 6 gigs of RAM one. So I talked to him again. I said, well, that's kind of weird. Did somebody miss that? Like, what's going on with that? And they said, you're right, but Apple doesn't allow third-party apps to tap into the extra 2 gigs of RAM. So I guess maybe the operating system uses that or something, but it's not going to make your apps run any faster or harder. So basically what I'm saying is, when it comes to processing power for drawing, first gen iPad Pro is just as powerful as the third gen iPad Pro. So now, don't get me wrong. The iPad Pro 3rd Gen is better for drawing than the first generation. But the differences, are they worth the money? Because you're not getting any more processing power for drawing. right? For drawing, you're not getting any more processing power. It has a much faster processor, but it's not going to help with drawing. What you're getting is you're getting a pencil that magnetically clicks to the top, which I've got these little loops on my case, my OtterBox case here. I'll leave an affiliate link for that down below too if you guys want to get into that, because this is a very sturdy case, right? And I love this built-in stand, but smart cover stand thing. Anyway, point is, you get the magnetic pencil that charges when it's docked. And that's nice. That's better. It is. But is it, I mean, we're talking about a $400 difference. Is it $400 better? If you're doing it professionally, probably. But for the rest of us, that's a lot of money. You're also getting a higher refresh rate on the screen, so the ink falls a little bit closer to the pencil as you're drawing. But this one's no slouch, right? Like, that would be better, but we're talking like it's that much better, you know? Now, if you're a gamer, I'm sure that's probably more important to you. I know gamers really love the high refresh rate, and I get that. I do. But if you're purely talking about for drawing, it's better, yes. Is it $400 better? I don't think so, but obviously everybody's got to figure that out for themselves. The other thing you're missing out on is, you know, USB-C, which it'd be nice if it used all the same adapters that my phone uses. But again, I'm not paying $400 for that. Face ID, I found that the thumbprint reader works pretty well for me. I'm sure Face ID is nice. You know, all these things, I would love to have them. But they're not worth $400 to me. At $415, this is the iPad drawing champ for me. This is the best bang for your buck. You can get more out of the newer iPad Pro, but you're going to be paying for it. Right. I forgot to mention why I recommend the 12.9-inch screen over the 10.5 or 11-inch screen. Basically, it breaks down to, and I'll get more technical about it, but basically it breaks down to the more sketching area you have to work with, the better, right? On a more technical sense, my professors always told me to draw with your elbow, not with your wrist, right? If you draw with your elbow, you're getting large sweeping motions, you're getting longer, swoopier, straighter, more beautiful lines, versus drawing with your wrist, you tend to get a little bit more wobbles, you tend to get more hatchy stuff. The lines just don't come out as beautifully with your wrist. Now, ideally, my professor also had us drawing on 11 by 17 inch sheets of paper, and this 12.9 inch iPad is not that big, but it's bigger than the 10.5 and the 11. Now, I tried drawing on the 10.5 inch iPad Air, and it was fine. It was fine. If you really need to save on space, that's still a good amount of space. It felt a little cramped to me because I'm used to drawing on 13-inch screens, whether that be the Surface Pro 4, the Surface Book, or this. But I mean, it is still a fairly big tablet. But the 12.9-inch screen, to me, I mean, when you're talking about iPads, this is the biggest screen you can get on an iPad, and I feel like for drawing, you want to get the biggest screen you can get. You know, digitally speaking, if you're talking about something other than iPads, for the most part, most devices bigger than this are really meant to be parked on a desk. So you also have the portability built into this 12.9 inch, right? So here's the other thing. Here is my sketchbook. Technically, I think it's 12 by 8.5. I don't know why it's not 11, but it's 8.5 by 12. But basically, pretty standard size sketchbook, right? Very portable, very easy to carry around in a bag, that kind of thing. Now check this out. Look what also is pretty much the same size as this sketchbook, right? These two are about the same size. So this actually turns out to be pretty portable. It works really well. It's not something that's going to be awkward to get into most bags. Now, if you've got a smaller bag or something, obviously it's a different case. But this gives you the most space for drawing. It helps you get into it with your elbow as much as possible instead of your wrist. And And the more drawing space you have, the better. But it's still portable. That's why I'm recommending the 12.9 inch over the 10.5 or 11. So anyway, that's why I repurchased. I'm returning this iPad Air, and I've repurchased the first generation iPad Pro. I'm getting refurbished models from Amazon's Renewed program, and I've found that to be really good. Now, Apple's Renewed program costs a lot more, but you do get an extended warranty. You get, I think you get like Apple chargers and cables and stuff in the package, whereas these come with knockoff chargers and cables coming from Amazon Renewed. I'm throwing those away as soon as they come in, kind of a thing. Well, I hold on to them in case I'm going to return it, but I don't use them. I've got my own Anker stuff that I use, which, by the way, I have a really awesome 30-watt travel Anker charger that's great. I'll leave an affiliate link for that down below, too. If you guys want to check out, this to me is the perfect setup for drawing on the cheap. Check out the links below. I'll have affiliate links below for you guys to check out. But, yeah. For doing it on a budget, this is a great deal. So, check those links out below. Check out sketchybot3000.com. Get some cool stickers for the kids. Get a piece of wall art for your wall, or get a hoodie or something. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate you all, and I can't wait to see you all on the next one. Be sure to check out something else from SketchyBot3000 right now. Hit the like bell. No, hit the like thumb and the bell, and you know the things. Leave some comments and some bells. You know, this stuff I'm supposed to say. Do the stuff, and I'll see you all next time. Have fun.